Welcome back, coders, to another episode of Gamekod3rs. Today, I just have Dylan with me, but we're going to be covering a couple cool topics for this discussion video, starting with Yooka Laylee, the brand new game from an indie developer that's kind of in the vein of, oh God, what is Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie, yep.
Yeah. And we'll dive into that in a second. And then we'll also talk about, second, the Zelda DLC, the newly announced Zelda DLC, which is pretty exciting. I know I'm excited to dive into that kind of content. I don't know, I have to check when it comes out, but it's coming out soon, and I'm really pumped about that. And then third, in honor of May the 4th and the fact that we missed that day for Star Wars content, we're going to talk about our top 3 Star Wars games that we've ever played. But let's start off with Yooka Laylee. Let's dive right in, Dylan. Tell me a little bit about that game, because I've been itching to get it.
And I so it's made by Platonics. Which is pretty much a group that got pieced together from different aspects of the Nintendo world. Some of the games they've worked on are like Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, 3, Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark Zero, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. So as you can see, there's a theme going on here. It feels like Banjo-Kazooie 2.0, man. It's the same kind of setup where you have the dual protagonist. The chameleon is Yooka, and Laylee is the bat. Very
like Banjo and
Kazooie. Banjo, that having the bird, for the wings.
Yeah.
They have that same sort of symbiotic relationship with the like double jumps. The second jump is the bat flaps the wings.
Yeah.
So it feels a lot like Banjo-Kazooie, but it's really, really crisp. Like the animation. Same sort of style, same sort of like dialogue. It's all subtitles with like the Charlie Brown kind of wah 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 wah,
Oh yeah. Where they do kind of like that. I think I've seen a little bit of footage. Like there was, there's one character that kills me every time. He's a snake. His name is Trousers, right?
Yeah.
Trousers or something like that.
Yep.
And the way he talks is so fucking funny. Like some people don't like that, but I really dig that. Like the way they kind of stylize the communication in the game.
And I mean, for someone, I played Banjo-Kazooie back when I was a kid, and it was challenging back then, but you could still get through it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This feels a lot like that. Like it's going to take you back. It's not going to be a game that you're going to be sweating over trying to pass levels or challenges. But it makes you think for some of the puzzles. Some of the wording, makes you realize, like in the tutorial area, even there's a cannon, and like. He hints that he has one of the collectibles in the game lodged in his throat, but you're going to have to come back when you have a better attack that is a hard-hitting attack. So, like, it hints to, like, hey, you're going to be coming back here,
Okay.
And I like that, the way that they set up those all their games in that sense where you might revisit areas, once you get more abilities and stuff like that. Really gives a smaller world a larger feel,
Okay. So it's kind of got that Banjo exploration vibe as well, along with kind of the collectathon nature.
Yeah, most definitely. So you're going to be – there's the quills, which are like feathers in Banjo-Kazooie. You're collecting those. They're a type of currency and collectible. And then you're collecting pages from a book. I won't go into the story of why you're collecting pages, but they're kind of like jiggies, the little jigsaw pieces.
Yeah.
So – and of course, like the pages have eyes and they bounce around and make little squeak noises, but they don't talk, sort of thing.
Everything's alive.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very like the controls seem to be pretty rudimentary, but there's something about it that kind of sucks you in, and it's just like a more simple time of gaming. It takes you back to, but it gives you that 2017 feel in graphics and overall, like where you can go, where you can't, In the older games, there was always that like ledges and stuff like that had that like really large drop rate range. Like if you got too close to ledge, you're going to drop, sort of thing. They made it feel more refined. Like it's more realistic in that sense. It just makes it flow better overall. I think they did a really good job with it.
Less like frustrating deaths and things like that. Like
more
and precise controls, anything.
Yeah, things you would expect from a game coming out, like in this era. But they did a good to the previous game's style for sure. And it's really nice. The price point that it came out at, brand new. If you buy physical or digital, it's $39.99.
Okay.
Which is nice because from what I've heard, it's about 8 to 10 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
For the main story. Obviously, you do all the collectibles, maybe add an extra hour or two on there.
Yeah.
And then there's an arcade mode, which I haven't looked into yet, but there's single player and 2 to 4 player
Oh,
arcade mode.
I've seen a couple of those little like some video of stuff like that.
Yeah,
It looks kind of
so
like rudimentary mini games, but
yeah,
they may be fun. We'll have to check it out.
and they had that. I think it was Banjo Tooie had
Oh,
a
okay.
multiplayer where you could play with people, and it was the same deal. It's like mini games. You're not gonna pile a bunch of hours, and I think overall, if you 100% the game and throw a little arcade action, you're getting like 10 to 12 hours out of it.
That's
But
pretty good.
which I mean, that's why I appreciate them releasing it at $40. They weren't trying to hike it up and
Yeah.
try to, even though they have AAA title developers, they weren't trying to squeeze that out of a smaller game. And
Yeah. I mean,
I respect them for that. And when they push another game out in the future, which I'm sure they will, I'll be 100% on board with them the whole way. So
cool. And difficulty wise, I wanted to dive into that a little bit with you. You mentioned that it's on the easier side of things, but do you feel like that if you're going to go for the collectibles and things like that, it will get harder? Like, is that something that challenge files and stuff like that can go after?
yeah, I could definitely see that. There's obviously you need the pages to like beat the game.
Hmm.
But if you're gonna 100% each level, there's also additional collectibles that you don't need for the story that you could definitely go about, and they have harder puzzles, or you have to have the memory of where they were and go
Okay.
back to that area once you have abilities to get there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, these style games, it's more that to me at least is just remembering. Oh yeah, when I learn how to fly or do this or that, I need to go the whole way back to this one area, because I need that to get to the ledge with the
Oh yeah, this is kind of
uh,
like Metroidvania style, where like
yeah.
Metroid, you'll get a power up, and that reminds you that there's this door that you couldn't open before because you didn't have the missile power up. Yeah, I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
and you don't have to go back and do it, but if you do, it's rewarding and the one thing, so you can eat fruit that changes your like abilities. You get like
Oh yeah.
sticky feet from like, eating like honeybees and stuff like that. So I know that's going to play factors into like they're going to have an unwritten timed rule. I'm assuming where it's like you need the sticky feet, but you have to run a perfect route to this one area to get up a wall, and if you don't, you're not going to be able to get the collectible.
Yeah.
That's how I see more less extreme difficulty and just more just planning and really if you're going to go 100% in it, just being able to plan out what you're going to do and remember to go back to it.
Yeah. Because I've heard some of the main complaints about it is that actually not so much the difficulty actually like that people have been fine with that. I feel like most gamers are not built for super difficult games anymore. However, they've mentioned that it kind of feels retro in a bad way. Like almost like it's trying to live exclusively off nostalgia.
Yeah.
Um, and that like some of that those mechanics didn't age. Like, how did you feel that actually turned out? Like, do you feel like it holds up to say some of the refinements that maybe Mario's introduced to the genre to stay relevant, or is it
I
kind of
think
living on its laurels?
so far, I'm not that far into it, but so far the biggest thing that I don't like is the camera control. So your third person view, and
Yeah.
you can control your left and right, but it also has like an auto center depending on
Okay.
what situation you're in. And if you're trying to fight that, it can kind of give you a wonky view, and it
Very
can
very
mess up whatever you're
or
doing.
very very GameCube.
Yeah, it's like late N64, early GameCube
Yeah.
kind of feel to it.
Okay.
Like
I see.
they try to give you that little boost, like, oh yeah, you have freedom to look around, but not if you're doing this one thing. So
Oh, okay. So that can be
it,
frustrating.
yeah, but I mean, once you realize it, and if you just don't fight the power and go with what they developed, it works itself out, man.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
you just have to kind of like you said, you have to reel yourself back and give what they gave you, or do what they gave you, and not like expect more.
Okay, I see what you're
It's
saying.
really, like you said, it's really big in the nostalgia era of they just gave you an old game that looks really good.
Hey, I'm cool with that. Like,
Yeah, and I'm fine with
I'm not
it.
anti that. So I was surprised by the critics that they latched onto that so much because I felt like most people who right? For like, IGN is just a name that's popping in my head, but like those kinds of sites, they're older, like they're in the 30s. Like they should have
Yeah.
played these games when they originally came out, so they
You
should have
would
known
think
what
so.
they were getting into. Like they wouldn't,
Yeah.
they know they can't completely change the formula because then it doesn't feel like those games. It doesn't capture that magic, and then
Yeah.
you
Well,
know what I mean. So it's kind of a
and
catch-22.
also, I feel like if they were trying to change the formula that much, it wouldn't be an 8 to 10 hour game, and it wouldn't be coming out at $40 brand new. You know what I mean? Like
Right? Yeah.
those things right off the bat to me, as someone who's been buying video games for 15 years, it's like okay, lower price point, but look at the developers. It's like okay, I'm going in for that experience.
Exactly.
I'm buying it for this. I'm not expecting the world out of.
Hey, I'm with you. I think that that's interesting to kind of keep in mind
Oh yeah, but
when it
I'm
comes to
really
using.
excited to see what they push out in the future. This seems to be fairly popular, and if they can make a solid chunk of change off of this, I mean the team they have together, the Donkey Kong Country series alone, like I played the Jesus out of that, and Banjo Kazooie, I can't tell you how many times I've replayed it. Bought
It's a
Rare
good game.
Replay specifically for those games, and I've replayed it all of them at least 2-3 times. So
That's awesome.
it's just one of those deals. Like I want them to put out more stuff. Like
Yeah, man. No, I think this has been a hit. So the good news is like I don't think that this is going to slow them down.
yeah.
I'm excited to play it on Switch. That's what I'm waiting out for right now, just because you're playing it on Xbox. I want to see what the Switch version's like. So you're going to be bringing us some coverage for the channel on Ukulele too, right?
Yeah, so coming up this week, I did like a kind of intro video
Mhm.
with the cutscenes and stuff from the introduction and the very beginning of the tutorials. It's just a short little peek, but I'll be doing a full play through the game in the meats and potatoes section of the channel,
Perfect.
in the near future. So we'll be touching it, and I'll come back to it in some of these podcasts and kind of see if my opinion changes the further I get into the game. If the redundancy starts killing me, that sort of stuff. So
Definitely, definitely. Well, yeah, that's a great time to make a transition over to the Zelda DLC news. So for those of you who don't know, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild obviously released at launch with the Switch. I've beaten it, played it like crazy. I know that you've seen that Adam and I have just been absolutely obsessed with it.
yes,
Um,
I've
well,
been
now
watching.
they're releasing DLCs. So the DLC pack was $20 originally. Like when it launched, they released the information that you could basically buy a season pass for $20, 19.99. But they didn't sell what was in there. They said that there's going to be 3 pieces of content for each pack, basically
Yep.
in 2 packs. So they finally released the information on the first pack, and that includes kind of some major gameplay impacting things. First one and the most like the largest piece of it, I think, is called the Trial by Sword.
Yep.
This is kind of like a almost like a battle room type thing where you're going to go into this room, you're going to be faced with enemies, a different environments, and you're going to have to go through waves. And I think there's 45 total waves. And when you clear that trial, you actually get like an ultimate version of the Master Sword. So that should be really, really interesting.
Yeah, and I believe it's the version that the sword never breaks, right?
That's rumors. No,
Oh,
all they said, this is
oh,
the language, just because Nintendo likes to be weird with this stuff.
yeah.
When Link clears all of the trials, the power of the Master Sword will awaken and always be in its glowing, powered up state. So
I,
that probably means it still breaks. For those of
okay.
you who haven't gotten it, it probably still breaks. It has a timer, it resets, everything like that. But
Yeah.
it sounds like it's going to be more powerful. So we're going to see what that actually impacts and see how much of a major change that'll be. But just the fact that there's going to be 45 rooms alone, and I've seen just like one screenshot, and it looks really cool. It's kind of like a mix of almost like a futuristic vibe with like plant life and stuff like that from the outside world built into it. It's super crazy. Like looks
Yeah.
very interesting though.
So,
Then they're going to be sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, just looking at it from the outside, someone who hasn't played yet, like, I mean, I'd buy the game just for that. It looks really entertaining.
It reminds me of some things that they do with old Zelda games where there'd be these like holes that you'd fall into and then you'd go through trial after trial after trial. Like they're fun. They can be boring if they're too repetitive and things like that, but they normally have like really cool rewards, and this reward sounds pretty awesome. So
Yeah, it's all the grinder in me says give it to me now. So
right? Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you're bought in. I'm bought in too. I already bought it, so who cares? Like, I'm definitely buying it.
Right?
Then the next area is going to be hard mode. So this is pretty straightforward. They're going to make enemies more difficult. Not so much in like the damage level because they already do a fuck ton of damage. Like if
Yeah.
you've played Zelda, they can kill you in one hit. Like almost every enemy like has some version of it that can kill you in one hit, even when you have 20 hearts or whatever. But what the thing that they're going to be doing is that not only will they find higher ranking enemies more often, but they're also going to find that enemies will slowly recover their health as you fight them. So they're no longer going to just like stay dead when you hit them a couple times. Then also they're going to be throwing in, this is random, I don't know why this is part of hard mode, but it is. Floating planks held aloft by balloons will be scattered around Hyrule.
Yes, I was going to say that. Yeah, I saw
And
that.
you can collect treasure and battle enemies on those things.
So what I'm guessing just from reading that is since there's going to be harder enemies, hopefully that means the treasures will be higher level gear that you wouldn't get normally from playing the game. You know
That
what I mean?
would be
Just
super cool.
because if it's, I mean, you would assume late game they're going to be a bitch to kill. Like,
Oh my gosh,
a little bit more.
they're
Little bit
already hard. Hard mode is going to be hell. Like it's going to be awesome, but hell. So the fact that they regain health, the fact that there's going to be these floating platforms that you have to get to, which will be really fun when you have like some of your later abilities and climbing mountains that you have to climb to get to them. It'll be creative on how people make it. You can, there's all kinds of weird things. Like there's an item called the Octorok balloon.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've ever seen a video of this.
I haven't
Look it up right now. Like look up Octorok balloon like devices. People will like strap these things to anything, and they immediately like tie a string to that object, and it like inflates like a helium balloon and starts lifting those things off the ground, and you can be on those objects. It's hysterical. Dude, it's absolutely hysterical. I played with it way too much. I got like a sailboat to go, I don't know, 200 feet in the air one time. Not for any reason, just because. But maybe I'll be using those to get to these high floating things.
Yeah, it sounds good. And I like the fact that it's not just treasure. Like they're like enemies and treasure. So you might have to fight some guys to get it. It's not going to be like just get there and you're good.
I'm good with that.
It'll give you that extra pressure so you don't go up there like unprepared.
Amen. I'm with you there. And then there's Hero's Path mode. So this is the I believe this is the map feature that they talked about when they were just teasing things. Basically, like for the last 200 hours of your playtime, the game will track your location, and when you activate this option, it'll draw a green line over all of the areas that you covered on the map.
Yeah,
it's awesome for completionists. So if you're looking for that last Korok seed, or if you're looking for that last shrine that you can't find, you'll know where you haven't been, and that's really helpful.
Yeah, and I mean the 200 hours is a nice chunk, and I feel like if and I feel like if you know you're going to go over the 200 hours, a smart gamer, hint hint, would just take a picture when they're at like 100 hours, right, and then have that to reference back on.
See, I like the way you think.
Because I'm all about putting as many hours into a game as possible.
Pro tip by Dylan Eby. Go ahead and get after him. He knows what he's talking about. So that should be pretty fun. I think that'll be really helpful for me when I'm like on that shrine grind at the very end is what I like to call it. Just because with like 15 left, it seems like that's a lot of shrines in a world. It's not. It's so fucking hard to find them in that giant place.
Yeah, huge world.
Oh my gosh. And you feel like you've been everywhere. Like you're seeing everything again. You're like, I've seen that tree. I've seen that fucking apple fall off that tree, and that monster, and god damn it, there's another, you know what I mean? So there's always that, and so this will help me a lot. I'm excited about that. And it's such a small feature that I'm kind of glad it's finally coming. I think it should have been there at launch, but whatever.
Yeah. I feel like that's one they're trying to just sneak in there, you know?
yeah, there's a couple smaller things, and we're going to talk about that here too. The travel medallion. This is a new treasure chest somewhere in the game world, which is kind of the funny part about it. Buy the DLC, but you have to go find the shit. Like, I love that.
That's good.
It's not going to tell you where it is. It's not going to give it to you. It's not going to just like suddenly be activated. You got to go find this cool thing. But if you get this, then you can create a temporary fast travel point back to wherever you're standing.
Yeah.
Only one, but it's kind of helpful because like if you were maybe like at a really cool point of interest, but you didn't have the thing you wanted to go do it, you can go prepare and then fast travel back to that place. Just
Yeah.
really helpful. Nothing crazy, but like the fact that you have to go find it gives me another item that I want to go look for, and
Yeah.
that's fun. And then Korok mask. This is just a mask that allows you to find Korok seeds. If you're into collecting 900 items in a game, that's really difficult, man. I'm like 200 something, and I don't even know, man. It felt like I wasn't finding anymore. I don't even know. That's crazy. That'll be helpful for those that are going for the 100% completionist, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you ever hear what you get for collecting all 900?
I don't. I haven't heard. No.
Do you care if it's spoiled? There's nothing crazy.
No.
I guess it's a golden piece of poop.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That sounds fitting.
It's fucking funny as hell. It's like you
That's
spent 250 hours collecting these goddamn seeds, and here's a giant golden piece of shit.
That sounds very rewarding. I would treasure that poop.
You better like it. It does nothing. It just sits there and is golden. But
as the best rewards of games do. You know, they're like, here, you did a thing.
The ones that mock you. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, it's a badge of honor at that point, I think. You know, if someone doesn't have the golden poop, I mean, are they in the crowd? You know, are they?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a picture of this last one too, because
while you do that, I'm gonna. So there's 3 other outfits that they're releasing with this, correct?
Yeah. So that's what I want to show the image of. But go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Yeah.
So just the 3 besides the Korok mask is Majora's Mask, which I mean everybody should know Majora's Mask. I mean if you don't, stop playing this game and go back and play every other Zelda game ever made. But I don't think there's anything special that one does for you. It's just the mask.
There we go. So these are the different mask items that you can get, or outfits that you can get.
Yep.
I think they look pretty dang good.
Yeah, they do. And some of them are multiple pieces. So like Tingle's outfit is 3 separate pieces. It doesn't come all as one.
Oh, that's nice. So it still gives me more things to look for.
Yeah, you got to find the hood, the shirt, and the tights all separate. Same with the Phantom armor. It's helmet, armor, and greaves are separate. So
okay.
Yeah, so it's not just like here's straightforward. You get it. The masks are, but they're just the mask. Obviously, if you want the full outfit, you're gonna have to work for it.
Yeah, Phantom, basically Dark Nut, like the upgraded one from. It looks like from Spirit Tracks or something like that. It's based upon the Wind Waker version, but that is the thing I want.
It's pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. Like, obviously, I would get Tingle's outfit because I
fucking Tingle.
That's just how I play. But
fucking Tingle.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's cool that they're throwing in, you know, the aesthetic look stuff as well as gameplay stuff in this DLC.
The interesting
price, I mean,
oh yeah,
$20 these days. $20 buys you 1 DLC. So the fact that you're getting what is it? You said 2 or 3, right?
It's 2. So this is the first. This is the first one.
This one's coming out summer this year, correct?
Summer, yeah. So not too long from now, probably around E3.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. They'll probably announce what's in it or what's in the next one at E3.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Because the DLC Pack 2 comes out this holiday season.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's good. It gives it a little boost going into that Christmas time when people are looking to buy a new Switch and they're looking to buy maybe Zelda with it, Mario. There's going to be a lot of reasons to buy a Switch come holiday. It seems like. So
definitely.
It's kind of cool. No, man, I'm pumped. I could talk about this forever. I can't wait to play more and get some things that are worthwhile.
And for the second DLC pack, I'm just looking. Do you know more than I do? I know it says additional story, new dungeon, and just additional challenges. Do you know anything like? Have they pushed anything else out?
I should call my uncle at Nintendo. I think that's what everyone says that they have is an uncle at Nintendo. No, I know nothing more than that. They said that there was a story element, or a new story, like a new storyline, which sounds fucking amazing. Like,
which makes me ask, is it going to be a new zone? A new, expansion zone? or are they going to change the world somehow? Maybe like, you
Right?
know,
Like, could it be that big? Like,
yeah,
and then also like a new dungeon? Like, what?
yeah, yeah,
Knowing what the dungeons are, like, how can there be another dungeon? So
yeah.
that must be a traditional Zelda dungeon.
And then additional challenges to face. Like that could be anything from like these Trial of the Sword to like, you know, new enemies even, you know, like it could really vary, especially in such a world that's so versatile like that. So many
Yeah,
ways.
well, and that's the thing is like I'm very interested to see where they go with Zelda after this because like the way that they're treating the DLC is almost like I wonder how they're thinking about future Zelda games. It's like they're treating it in that this is already a brilliant world. Like we built the perfect world. Let's just keep building upon it. Like let's just keep adding to it. Like and I'm cool with that. Like I could see myself sinking, 300-400 hours into it when it's all said and done. Like I don't mind ever dropping back in for 2 or 3 hours and playing around. It's kind of like that feeling of like Grand Theft Auto 3 almost. Oh no, Vice City was the game for me. Like when I first played
Yeah,
Vice City, like all I cared about was just I'd done everything. I'd beaten all the story, I'd beaten all the missions, but and I just go back and just fuck around for hours and hours and hours and hours, and it just never got old. I
yeah,
feel like the same thing about this, so that's kind of cool.
most definitely, man. And uh, I can't wait. So this summer, hopefully, I'll be jumping on the Nintendo bandwagon and and get back into because when does the new Mario come out? Is that this summer or this holiday season?
So it comes out this Christmas, yeah, or this
Okay.
holiday. They
Okay.
didn't say
So I
specifically.
need to switch before that comes out because I need to play through Zelda before I can dive into Mario.
Holy shit,
That's how life works. And then
dude! I'm excited.
and then I'll probably end up playing Sonic on the Switch because I mean it feels better. It feels like
There's
it's more,
something weird about playing like Sonic on a Nintendo system. That's like
yeah
right. It feels right.
it's great. Yeah, like it's nice that I have the older ones like on the 360 and stuff, but it's not the same, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. It's totally a psychological thing. It has nothing to do with the actual gameplay or anything like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped for Sonic Mania. I'm actually pumped for what's the other game called? Oh God,
Sonic Forces?
Sonic Forces. I'm pumped for
Yes.
that one too. Like both of them look great.
Yeah,
I'm crossing my fingers.
across the board, man. I'm really excited for what's already come out this year and what's to come. Like E3 is
Yeah,
going to be huge. Call of Duty obviously for me. I got my DLC. Or my DLC, my pre-order. I'll be
nice.
doing a video for all you coders out there probably whenever they release the beta dates for the multiplayer.
I like
Uh,
it.
and we'll do a little talk about COD once we get a little bit more information. They're gonna push out the beta dates in E3. Like they've already said, all the multiplayer talk is coming to E3. So I'll be doing a big wrap up video. Have a swag from GameStop that I got.
Heck yeah, I saw that hat earlier. It looks really good too. So
Hat and lanyard, man, can't beat it. Like I was gonna buy the game anyway.
I think I'm gonna have to pick that up. I haven't picked up a COD in like 3 versions, so I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it.
I feel like if you're gonna get back into it, like
This is the one.
this one's gonna be the one, and it won't disappoint. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you skip some pretty bad ones. So
Yeah.
if not bad, just more disappointing. Not all of them were inherently bad, but just this one, I feel like they're going back. They're going back to what I want.
Dude, I'm on board. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I haven't pre-ordered yet, but I don't really pre-order games all that
Yeah.
often. So I'll get it though. Probably get it at launch. So um okay. So anything else you want to add about Zelda DLC before we move on?
Um, nope, that's pretty much it. You went
Okay.
over everything that I could find on it. And I'm excited to see more come out and then you to put out more content in Breath of the Wild.
God, yeah, me too. And that'll be coming in the near future. We still have a couple parts of the Zelda playthrough that are coming down the pike. So keep an eye out for those in the next couple of weeks. The next area that we want to talk about is Star Wars. May the 4th came and gone, but we still wanted to honor that legendary series in which I know I love. I'm assuming you love too.
Yes.
Okay, good. We would have lost some subscribers.
Yeah,
if you'd said
I would have just hung up right now. But
No, big fans. So, I mean, this is kind of the time. Like we talk about gaming, we want to bring this back to gaming. So, I know that I've kind of created a list of my 3 favorite Star Wars games. with obviously some omissions that I painfully had to leave off because I only gave myself 3 slots.
Yeah.
And I assume that you have done the same thing.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be some people that are angry at me, but I'm gonna tell you that's not how it is.
People are always angry. Just
Yeah, right. Nobody's ever happy when it comes to
talk
Star
about it in the comments. Please tell us how shitty we are at picking Star Wars games. But let's start with number 3. I'll go ahead and go first. My third favorite Star Wars game, and this was a tough one because it was between this and Jedi Outcast.
Okay.
And the game I chose was Battlefront 2. So I'm a huge Battlefront fan, actually. I'm super disappointed in the last Battlefront by those standards, just because it had things that were good, but overall it wasn't what I wanted. But Battlefront 2, I sunk, I don't know, hundreds of hours with my friend and I just playing split screen multiplayer, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on PS2.
Yeah.
And oh god, that game is fantastic. It's one of my favorite multiplayer games ever. It had a storyline. Take note, EA. You should put a fucking storyline in Battlefront 2. I guess you're going to call it.
This one is supposed to have it. The new one's supposed to have it. So
what are they going to call it, by the way? Are they going to call it Battlefront 2?
Yeah.
Fuck them.
They're just scrubbing the past. They said fuck the last generation. We're going.
Yeah, fuck the better games that we made, and let's just move on and make shittier ones. So that's exciting. Anyway, so that's where I stand with that. What do you think about Battlefront 2?
Battlefront 2, I played it a lot. Definitely was a fun game. I didn't play so much like that. It wasn't in my top 3.
Okay.
My top 3 is going to be, like I said, people are not going to like me.
Okay, just
dive in.
Tell me.
I based my top 3 off of the amount played. All right. So,
okay.
I'm a big fan of overall content. All right. Stories, I can go out and read books if I want better stories.
Jesus Christ. I can already tell this is going to be bad.
There's too many games out there. And this is number 3, just so people know. Okay.
Okay.
But just overall time put in. All right. I got to give it to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game. All right.
Holy fucking hell.
Yes, I know. Okay.
Oh man.
But I'm close probably between. So I played this hard when I was in Korea.
Okay.
And I had a lot of time on my hands. So I put probably 75 to 100 hours into this game. And that is the only reason. Okay, I understand there's going to be ridicule, but that is the only reason why it's on the top 3. Because first off, free. Never put a dime into it. All right, there's microtransactions. Didn't touch them. I played it almost every day while I was over there. Solid like 9 months just playing this shit out of this game. And I mean, I can't beat that. Like that many hours on a free title. Like, I mean, I know there's no story and it's not. I don't even think it's canon. Like there's nothing going on. But it's
canon.
It brings.
It should be shot out of a fucking cannon.
It shows you characters and it makes me happy. Okay.
No. Okay, so I don't want to totally trash on you for that. I mean, it's
you can. It's okay. I'm ready for it.
I think that mobile games get a bad rap. They're designed exactly for the platform that they're on, right? Yeah. And it is built to be a game that you can pop in, put a couple minutes in, do what you need to do, and then stop and then move on when you have stuff to do.
Exactly.
Obviously, it sounds like you played it wrong and played it for hundreds and hundreds of hours, but that's okay, I think ultimately, I've actually heard this game thrown around a lot. Like the fact is that I recognize the name immediately. So obviously it's not just being carried on its Star Wars license. It's got some depth to it that can keep you busy for 200 hours.
It can keep you busy. That's for sure.
And maybe kill time. Maybe it's better than being bored.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like if I'm going to have something on my phone, at least it was a Star Wars themed game. All right.
Yeah. You could have picked a broken game. Like it's not broken.
And, I'm glad you just be glad I didn't throw Angry Birds Star Wars up there. Okay, so
I mean that's a good game though.
Yeah, that was like 7 on my list.
That's like number 7 on your list. Okay,
I didn't put as many hours into it, but it was a good game.
Okay, well, so we're gonna let that one fly, I suppose.
It hurts.
But what was the name of it again?
Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Galaxy of Heroes, that's right. Maybe I'll download it later and try it out and tell you for sure whether or not it sucks.
Yep, friend request. Hey.
Don't worry, we'll help each other out on this one.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that's your third one. Mine was Battlefront 2. Let me bring you to my younger self. So you're gonna have to know a little bit about my history and what I grew up playing on and why this one is on my list. So my first console ever was the N64. Actually,
Hey, me
I
too.
wasn't able to buy anything before that because my parents said, "No, you don't get to play games that we buy. We don't buy them." So I had to save up my allowance for a year. I was getting paid like $1.75 a fucking week, and so literally
Wow.
took me an entire year, my entire life savings effectively, and I plopped it down in an N64. Bought that, and then I bought Star Wars Episode One Pod Racer.
Nice.
It's a fucking fantastic game, and I honestly think that it's probably one of the most underrated racing games ever made. It still
So
holds up today.
I honestly forgot about this game, but you jarred like a whole like section of my childhood loose in there, and I never bought this game, but as I also was N64 was the first console, right?
Nice.
Same sort of deal. Parents no go. Got it for Christmas from like the grandparents one year, and it was like a big hoopla, right? Uh, all I ever had was Mario Kart and Mario 64, like
Okay, not bad.
as my games. But this was back in the day of old Blockbuster,
Oh, the
right?
rental.
Yes, and I
You
definitely rented.
millennials out there, this is a place where you would go and you would walk in and you'd say, I would like that game that is on your shelf. Can I borrow it for days at a time? And they would
Think
say yes for this much money, and then you'd bring it back.
think of if you combined Redbox and Best Buy into the same thing.
Yeah,
That's what these places were. They were glorious, glorious
they don't
places.
exist anymore. Long tales of legend, Blockbuster.
But I
Yeah.
definitely forced my poor mother to re-rent this game for me at least 5 or 6 times.
Oh, geez, it's
So
so good, so
it
good.
was, and it was one of those deals. I just at that point she probably should have just bought it for me because she probably paid more renting than it would have cost just to buy the game.
For
But,
sure. That's how they
but
make
yes, no, that is a great choice, and I'm really sad that I forgot about that game.
It's a
Uh,
tough one. It's one of those ones that can slip your mind if you're not thinking about it. But like, I was just thinking back to those times when like we'd be screaming and throwing N64 controllers, and those things would just never break.
yeah, yeah,
I
you
gotta
could
say,
hear pieces inside, and still they worked. I don't know
oh
how.
yeah, they just rattle for that. I'm pretty sure they came rattling. Like,
Yeah,
they
usually.
came out of the box like that. No, but I remember after watching the movie and then playing that game and how like I just refused to play as anybody but Anakin. Like I don't know what was wrong with me, man. I was all about episode 1.
Yeah,
Obviously I'm wrong, but I've
something
grown
wrong.
up, learned. But I really enjoyed that game. So that's my number 2. What about you?
Okay, so my number two is one that's going to be free later this month. Actually, the Lego Star Wars Saga.
Oh, that's a good
Uh,
choice.
so I went from no
Fuck.
story in my third choice to like all of the story.
Yeah.
This covers so many movies. So fun, but it's really, I mean, children can play it. Like it's not
Yeah,
hard
it's
in that
simple.
sense, but it has those little throwbacks that us older folk would catch up on, pick up on
Yeah.
from the movies. That it's like those little funny tidbits, and it just buckles me down, and I've played the crap out of the game. And later this month, when it's free, you best believe videos will be made, and we'll be putting some time into that. I'm sure
I
both
think
of
we
us.
got to do a co-op of that because if
Yes.
that does it have online?
I don't know.
We
Actually,
gotta
I,
find
I
out.
think I think when they do backwards compatible, they have to have viable multiplayer servers. So they should have online multiplayer.
Well, I'm saying
I
the originals did, right? On Xbox 360.
think so. You don't quote me on
Dude,
that. I'm not.
well,
I'm
we're
not
gonna have to look into that because holy fuck, I played a lot of hours into that. I agree. That is a great choice that I forgot about. Probably would have been like fourth or fifth on my list, to be honest.
yeah,
So good.
really
I'm a
free.
huge Lego game fan. Like
Yeah,
it's my
that's one of my favorite Lego game, like period. And then it just
yeah.
happens to be like also the Star Wars saga. I think it covers the first 6 films, doesn't it? The
Well, it
whole-
depends on which release you're talking about because
well,
originally
so
it was.
they have the saga that covers, I think, the first 6.
I think the one they're releasing free covers all 6. But
Yeah.
they like went back later and made the prequels or no,
Yeah.
they started with the prequels, and I think that they eventually went and did like the
Yeah,
later
because
films.
these were the games they spanned from like 2006, I think, until 2011. So it was a large period of these games coming out.
They were the best. They're
Yeah,
so good. I played so many hours of that with Jake actually.
they,
Back in the day on Wii.
I got hooked on. I was playing. I think it was on the Wii. It was on a demo at Target or something, and I
Oh,
was like, "This is so much fun." And then I saw that they had it for the 360, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna happen." Like,
I'm kind of a sucker for Lego in general. I used to build Legos all the time as a kid, but then the games came out, and I was like, these are so simple. Right? Like that's actually like a positive in this case. Like I play
yeah,
so many games that are so complicated and so many like systems and things to
you can
keep
just
track of and
you can just
hundreds
like
of hours.
relieve all the stress
You just don't
and
even think.
have fun. Yeah,
Yeah, and one of the things that the Star Wars Lego games did right was they weren't voiced. Like they actually, when they did the cutscenes, they just
yeah,
reenacted them as like silent films. It was fucking hysterical. They were
yep.
so goddamn funny. Like I need to replay those. I'm so
And
excited,
that's
man.
why I think it's great for people who know the movie so well because those scenes, like you know what's happening, but they have that little twist, that little
They do the
kiddo twist on
reimagining. Yeah,
it. Yeah, it's
exactly.
really good.
Good choice. God damn it.
All right, so back to you. This is the big one.
Oh gosh. I mean, I think I chose right. Like I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is the best Star Wars game ever made. And it's Rogue Leader. Not Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader on GameCube.
Okay, okay.
Rogue Squadron is a great game, but Rogue
Squadron,
Leader
yeah,
was
I was
like the
gonna say Squadron is
perfection
not
of
the
it.
best game ever made, but
What?
I said Squadron is not the best game ever made.
No, that one's a little rough. Like when you look back at it, like it didn't age well. When it came out, it was groundbreaking, but like
Yeah,
it's not doesn't hold up anymore. Rogue Leader though, like you go back and play it. I seriously fired it up on GameCube like I don't know, like 5 months ago, 3 4 months ago, and that game still looks great. Like
yeah,
even though it's like in shitty resolution and everything like that, the graphics are like really impressive still, and the gameplay is hard, brutally fucking hard, but fun. And so like it's co-op, it's everything. Like, oh man, I played that for so much, and I even liked the sequels, but I didn't put those on there. Like there was Rebel Strike,
Rebel Strike. Yep.
which is the one that they were gonna make like a third one after that, but they didn't because that studio went under basically.
Yeah.
But Rebel Strike was good, but it had some on foot missions that are just not that fun comparatively. And but I did get a version of Rebel Strike that includes the entire Rogue Squadron too.
Oh
So
wow.
or Rogue Leader. So that yeah, exactly. So that's the game, man. That one's mine. I'm just absolutely in love with it. I could play it forever and ever and ever. Yeah.
So, all right. This is also not going to be the best with people, but Star Wars: The Old Republic, because
Oh, you're
I
talking about the MMO.
MMO, yes. So
You were close. You
I
got
put
it wrong though.
I put what?
I'm saying you were close, but then you chose the MMO and not Knights of the Old Republic,
No, I did not
like
say that.
everyone would have loved.
Yeah, that's why I said people are going to hate me. But I'm a very unconventional kind of gamer, and
Good.
again, this one, time played, and it's for so there are DLCs that make life a lot easier, but you can play that game for free up to a certain point.
Yeah.
And the best part is I don't even care about the end game. Normally, MMOs, big WoW fan here. It's all about the end game. Like, you can only play an MMO so much with the beginner missions and stuff. But this one had so much story, and like
Mhm.
it had that like Mass Effect esque choice system
Yeah.
where, but not only did your choices like make a difference later on in your story, but you also fucked a lot of aliens.
Uh,
So very Mass Effect esque, but
that's incredibly Mass Effect.
yeah, right.
Mass Effect.
But no, seriously, like you could play through all the story types on both sides. Both sides had different stories that could change depending on what you do. So I mean, essentially, you could get hundreds of hours out of just the free portion of the game, not even mess
Yeah.
with content. And that's why I put it up at the top. I dumped a lot of time into this, and like I said, I never messed with Endgame. I just once I got to that point and the main like story was over, I'd start up a new character, and it was like a whole new game.
That's
Different
cool, man.
It had different mechanics, different moves, obviously different story. You went to the same planet more or less, but it had major decision points and stuff that were way different. So it
That's
was playability wise, really fun and just tons of hours. So that's why it's at the top of my list.
I think that's a pretty good choice, actually. I don't think it's the best Star Wars game ever made, but that doesn't mean that like that's not what your top three
That's
is.
what
And
opinions are.
I respect that top three minus the third one.
The third, I threw that one in there for the haters, man. I
Yeah,
got to see those comments.
you're gonna, yeah, you're just trying to get our comments to explode, aren't you? Well, I appreciate it, but I think that's a pretty good list. So, real quick, highlight your top three again.
Okay, so we'll go from the top. Star Wars: The Old Republic, Lego Star Wars, the 360 version, the Saga, Lego Star Wars Saga, I think it's called, and then Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for the final lovely wrap up there. And once again, I base this overall content and price point was big on it. Two of those games 100% free, and Lego the Saga is going to be free later this month. My top three, I'm going to overall hundreds of hours, not a penny spent. So
that's hard to argue with, my friend. Mine, on the other hand, are three of some of the most expensive games to find these days. So
you also have really, really, really solid games on the list. So.
Yeah, I went with like my favorite, the ones that I played the most. But my number one was Rogue Leader. Number two is Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. Number three, Battlefront 2 on PlayStation 2, not PS4. Hear me, EA? PlayStation 2. So make a better game. I'm excited, actually. I don't want to shit too much on Battlefront 2 because I don't know what it's going to be like. I'm hoping it's good.
Campaign. So it's already better than the first one because there's going to be campaign.
Right, and it actually looks like a cool story. So I'm probably going to pick that one up, and I'm going to cover quite a bit on that because I'm kind of a sucker for those games. And I played the beta of Battlefront 1. It's not that the multiplayer was bad; it's that there was not enough there. Like there was just not enough there.
Now I haven't looked into it. Have they said is the campaign going to be multiplayer?
Better fucking be.
That would be wonderful if they had like a co-op even like co-op online.
Oh, please tell me that happened.
Because if that's a thing, I mean, I will 100% be getting this game, and
we'll play together.
We'll have to make some content for that. That will be
definitely.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look into that, and then next discussion video, I'll confirm or deny this information, and then we'll let you know what our plans are at that point. But that brings us to the end of this episode of Game Coders. We wanted to thank you guys for tuning in. Did you want to highlight any upcoming content that we haven't talked about yet?
I think I've already hit on it, but cool. I'm going to be pushing out that ukulele intro next couple of weeks. A few episodes in that. We'll be pushing out the whole playthrough at some by the end of probably before summer really starts.
Cool.
Finishing up the Civ Revolution that I have.
Nice.
People want to see another series in that. I'll do it on a harder difficulty. Shoot a comment below. Let me know. And then I'm doing Rise of the Tomb Raider right now. I have one episode scheduled for this upcoming week, and I got more episodes in the vault there. So
very nice.
I'm really excited to finish that game. Haven't finished it yet. Just got my hands on it, and it's really fun so far. So I hope everybody enjoys it as well.
And in the future, from me, you guys can expect a couple cool different series. I've had a little snag with Zelda, so that's going to be put on hold, but we do have a couple episodes still down the line, or at least one more episode down the line that's already recorded. I'll be catching up with that soon, so don't worry, there won't be that big of a lag. But for now, I'm actually going to be starting a Lego City Undercover on Switch playthrough because, I have to admit it, I love Lego games, and this is probably my favorite Lego game. Tied with maybe Star Wars Saga, so there you go. But yeah, so you'll be seeing that along with some other things. We'll keep on doing a weekly My Mom Plays, and also we're working on some interesting partnerships and maybe having some special guests on these discussion videos in the near future. So stay tuned for that when we have more information. But I can tell you from us over here at Game Code, we want to just say thank you guys and stay classy, coders.
Alrighty, and don't forget to like.